Hello everyone and welcome to the next episode of MIC's new podcast series. In this episode, we will discuss about UI, UX and DevOps. This podcast is mainly for those who are into no code, low code. That is, it's not really coding extensive and how you can get your hands on UI, UX. Today with me, I have Sam and we will discuss from scratch how you can actually get into this domain and we will create a roadmap for beginners. Hello Sam, how are you doing today?
Good, Tushar. How about you?
So Sam, how would you like to introduce yourself in your own words?
So, hi guys. Myself Sam Prince Franklin, current president of Microsoft Innovations Club VIT Chennai, and also a current member of Student Council VIT Chennai, and been there in core committee of Vibrance, a cultural fest, and also the Technovit, the technical fest of VIT Chennai. Today, I'll be explaining about my experience towards my journey in the field of UI UX and DevOps, and also like from the biology background, how I cleared my hurdles towards a world of programming and how I survived the journey.
So Sam, as you mentioned that you're from the biology background, so how did you discover UI UX, which is like, it is a technical domain? Okay, so how did you come across UI UX and you thought that, okay, I should go ahead with this?
So as I mentioned that I'm from the biology background.
Yeah.
So in my 12th grade, I was like clueless about my future and stuff. I was like exploring all the things, even though I was joined as a biology student. I appeared in my NEET and other stuff. But then I thought I should, turn my career path to some else towards the computer science and stuff. Back then I was using some sort of drag and drop tools to make some websites and also learned some sort of CSS and basic sort of React and stuff.
Right.
Then I found myself that I'm good in design rather than, coding. Then I appeared for VIT and all. Then I got selected luckily. And then, it was back again with online stuff. And then at that point of time, I explored a lot of things towards the web development, how it actually works, how people, manage the websites and then deploying and
Okay.
and after that, I explored that I'm actually fit for this domain and then started some deep exploring stuff and made a lot of projects during that time. It came out successful as
So correct me if I'm wrong. So let's say someone who is not from a technical background today, because we have all these softwares where you can just drag and drop, you don't really need coding as such. So it doesn't matter if you're from the commerce field or you're from arts or any other. That's all. That is non-technical. I can still manage to get into any domain if I put in the work and if I know the correct resources.
exactly. So as you mentioned that people from commerce and other stuff, so they do web development. They also ended up in computer science or something, and they'll be like exploring all the stuff. But they find that web development and designing would be a great choice, since you don't need that much of logics and stuff. You just need to be good in design and thought process and use user experience.
So Sam, I have tried making websites on my own, but I've tried it using WordPress. So in WordPress, you usually drag and drop and you made a complete website. So sh- how do you think that WordPress is not enough for anyone to be a UI UX developer? And it's more than just drag and drop stuff. It's more about how you come up with different designs that has its uniqueness. So what are the other resources that one should try? And how I should actually get my hands on UI UX as a beginner.
So yeah, as I mentioned that like trying WordPress websites and other things like Wix.com. It's all about, like they made some templates,
Yeah.
and you're just, copying and just rendering it for yourself.
Right.
But when it comes to the production level and stuff, it's actually not that good. Like when you need some sort of addition features that need to be added, at that time, actually, struggle a lot to do those customizations.
Right.
So even in my period, I mean, in my way journey of doing those kind of websites, I felt a lot of trouble, with, I do some freelancing and stuff. So during that time, I felt really bad, with some customers. They'll be like asking for a lot of features and stuff.
Right.
At that point, I couldn't add those things to my website because I was using Wix.com and stuff. But then I, felt that being just a Wix designer is not good to, helpful in my career path. Then I explored like how exactly these kind of things work, like how to code, how exactly to, like to access those stuffs.
Right.
then during the lockdown time, I attended a lot of YouTube videos, lot of live stream and stuff, and then figured out that uh, HTML, CSS are not just a part of, they're just a part of web development, but learning some sort of frameworks like React and Next.js and stuff. So that will, actually add more sort of customization and things to your website. And I learned that with all those YouTube free stuffs only, I never paid a single penny for any courses or stuff till now. Even then, hell lot of resources available in internet that you can use for web development. The best thing that at the start I could say that trying the Angela Youth course at Udemy, even lot of YouTube videos, you just put React web development. There'll be hell lot of things available for 12 hours, 24 hours, and stuff. And mentioning that reading the documentations are a good start because videos are good, but then you need some sort of a book or something like that. So better you can go with the React documentation, which is pretty good, with that, and just not memorizing those kind of stuff. Instead of that, try implementing in some sort of project so that you will be used to those kind of syntax and and also the lot of things like a router thing and lot of things are there. So you can explore them just by doing some sort of projects, and you can clone lot of things that are available on internet. And some websites as well, like JavaScript Mastery and those kind of YouTube videos will help in cloning and doing some clone projects will actually help you out to do something similar to that.
So as you know that AI is taking over every other domain, so how do you think it will impact UI UX? And let's say I'm a beginner, okay, and I'm starting out at in this year 2023. So should I actually go for UI UX knowing that AI is much better and it has more options, or should I still try my hands on UI UX and see for myself if it's still I can work my way through it? What do you think?
Yeah, about the current thing like OpenAI, ChatGPT, and Ping thing. A lot of things like going on with other companies as well. So I think for AI and machine learning stuff. Right. So with this context, UI UX, will there be any end, or will this affect UI UX? I would say that kind of yes and kind of no. Because with the OpenAI, the large pre-trained models and stuff, I would say that yes, UI UX is changing its path with the AI. And if you might have seen the ChatGPT 4 launch, like the founder itself, he drew a wireframe with a basic wireframe and it converts it into a code. And the UI was actually good rather than, a beginner designing it. So with all these contexts, I would say that UI UX might, go a bit low when compared to the pre ChatGPT era, I would say. But in the same timeline, people are there, they use the AI, they use all this ChatGPT thing and make something better than that they are doing till then. So there is one thing called Mid Journey. So that is, a excellent AI model where it generates images, and that that will contribute a lot towards the field of designing as well. So I was exploring the same thing for the past 2 months and stuff. So I've seen a lot of videos, a lot of YouTube stuff where they will be making the entire UI with Figma and Adobe XD, and they make some prototypes with the assets that are created by Midjourney. So Midjourney is currently available for Discord channels only. So with that, with all the prompts that are generated by OpenAI itself, they just put in the Midjourney and create the beautiful, awesome images asserts for UI UX. So that contributes to the way of designing the UI. And currently, the glossy stuff, the glossy style is going on with Microsoft. And if you see about the Google, they use a material UI, and kind of all things are minimal and kind of different from company to company. And nowadays, comparing with Microsoft and others, design part, I would say that Microsoft is actually doing very minimal, and also kind of 3D way of styles compared to Apple and Google's UIs. Right. So yeah, that's
Let's
ChatGPT, taking over the path.
So I've seen like freelancers in other domains actually using ChatGPT as a tool, not as a competitor.
Exactly.
Let's say you are a content writer, so you can use ChatGPT for research, collecting data.
Yeah.
So for a UI UX developer, how can you use ChatGPT as a tool and you can make a better UI UX design project? So how do you actually use it?
So coming to this point, even I have a course called Human Computer Interaction this semester.
Right.
And with that project, I was actually doing some research about BDL app. So if you might have aware about
Yeah.
anti-social app that makes you, very conscious about the social media.
Exactly.
So with that thing, what I'm doing, instead of going, I was going through the surveys and generic method of UI UX research.
Right.
But apart from that, I also asked ChatGPT about like what are the things that you are expecting to be a change of this particular application.
Okay.
And it gave me a mind-blowing results where it was actually matching with the current user base as well. So with that prompts and the replies you can give it to the mid journey and stuff makes the UI pretty more better and kind of it's already a minimal state, but you can even fine tune it and make it better.
So I believe UI UX is a creative field, right? You need to be creative.
Exactly.
So if one is creative enough, I don't think he or she has to consider ChatGPT or any other AI model as their rival.
Yeah.
It's more like a tool because no AI will ever take over creativity. It's a human thing. So one should be creative enough, and if you put in the work, if you put in time, you can actually use ChatGPT as a tool and come up with great projects.
So yeah, with this context, I would say like it's just like making a center alignment in Word.
Right.
Okay. You have the entire word processing stuff.
Exactly.
Put all your creativity, but just use those kind of tools to fine tune those kind of creative ideas. That's what I could say. Just if you want to make a good content on the words, the catchy things, you can use ChatGPT and use it. If you want a creative logo, a creative background, you can use ChatGPT.
Okay.
And in the meanwhile, as the founder of OpenAI mentioned in the ChatGPT 4 launch, he drew the wireframe stuff, right? Even that will go to some extent only. Like the fine-tuned models and the fine-tuned detailings will actually come from a UI UX designer only, not from a AI pre-trained model.
Right.
So that's my take on ChatGPT and the OpenAI.
Let's move on from UI UX and talk a bit of general about college life.
Yeah.
So you are there in the student council and you were there in the core committee of Vibrance. Vibrance is our cultural fest and you are a 9-pointer. Plus you are the president of Microsoft Innovations Club. So how do you actually manage your academics and these other co-curricular activities, and how any other college student could do the same, because it's very hard to manage time. College is a busy life, especially engineering. So how do you actually manage it, Sam, and what tips would you give, or how do you guys actually come up with these managing tricks and stuff? What do you do exactly?
Yeah, Tushar. So mentioning about all these day-to-day life things in my... So about managing stuff like academics, co-curricular clubs, and my freelancing stuff, and other mentoring, everything, it's kind of hard. You don't have time to not even to take rest. But even mentioning that, you will have a lot of exposure, I would say, that being a student council, club member, and president, then academically strong, that's actually, kind of enjoyable, I would say, rather than depressing. Because some people will, find hard to manage time. They'll be like lagging somewhere, doing all the extracurricular thing and academic things parallelly. So in my case, I would spend my time equally to everything. Like if it is an academic stuff, I will spend my entire focus, concentration and stuff towards a class, and right, rather than, some people will be like half engaged with the class, half with the co-curricular, and at point they'll lose something, either the co-curricular or the academic stuff. Right. But till now I didn't drift from that. Like my offline life was actually good compared to online academically, and co-curricular way, I would say the best thing that I earned here. So it started with Technovert, and my contribution towards Technobird. And then it moved on to other things like Pongal, other things managed by Student Council. That was actually mind blowing, I'll say, because you will enjoy the utmost of freedom, the accessibility towards the college things as a student. And adding to that, then the vibrance came, and it was a 2 months journey with the core committee, professors, the lot of people involved, and you will get a chance to interact with them, make some new connections, make some things that are pretty new with the people who are like generally studying inside. And mentioning that VIT is a place to learn, a chance to grow. So we have a lot of opportunities. It's one's perspective, one's choice to choose which is best and which is suitable for one side.
I think it's more like a stress buster, to be honest, these curricular activities. You don't have to take it like academics, like where you actually stress on studying and making out a plan and everything. It's more like socializing, meeting people, and actually coming up with creative ideas to create good events. So it's not really that stressful,
Yeah.
curricular activities. So if anyone is getting into college just now, please try getting into a club or any other managing event. It will definitely help you build yourself. Right?
So yeah, about the club thing, I would say it's the best way, to chill out, to meet new people, make some new connections, and share your ideas, thoughts, your goals and such. And so you get some resources to make the things better. Where you can actually build stuff with the people who are currently in the club and use them as a mentor, use them as a teammate, partner, whatever thing. You will find your niche of people and use them as a good partner to start with.
You want go? Okay, so Sam, let's say that I'm a beginner, okay, and I will put 1 month into UI UX just to see if it's good for me. So tell me a complete roadmap and the initial steps so that I can start my journey with UI UX. And let's say if I'm starting out, give me some resources like these websites that actually teach you good UI UX or these content creators. Or should I actually go to Udemy and pay for these courses who provide me with certificates? Also, tell me the significance of these certificates. Should it actually works for us in the UI UX domain, or it's not really necessary? What do you think?
So yeah, let's take that you're getting a 2 months long or even 1 month long break from your college, and you want to dedicate something like yourself towards a particular domain that makes you perfect in that. So in my case, I never paid a single penny for any course till now. So and till now it's going great. I do freelancing with the knowledge I gain with the free stuff that I know. So adding to that, I would share a gist of the a roadmap kind of thing that actually make you a better UI UX designer and a researcher, so that you can design front-end apps and stuff for the clients. So starting with UI UX is basically just handling tools. So you just need to know how to handle a tool. Let's take we have certain tools like Figma, then Adobe XD, and a lot of things like that. So people use Figma as a major thing, and currently Figma actually merged with the Adobe things as well. So adding to that, I would say if you know how to handle Figma, then you're halfway done. And the rest of the things is all about your creativity, how you make some interactive designs, interactive components, and how you implement into a front-end part. So first thing is learning how to use Figma or Adobe or any similar kind of tools. I personally prefer going with Figma because a lot of community support as well as community tools that are there, and you have a lot of pre-trained templates and stuff to start with. And so adding to that, you need to handle how to manage the assets, color codes, typography, and other things. So for everything, there are a lot of support tools available in internet. You can use them. You can use to the utmost extent that it's there. And apart from that, you have some sort of psychological way of understanding users' behavior, and basically users are divided into 3 types, like novice user, expert, and the middle end users. So you have to think in a way that you shouldn't be only focusing on a developer view. You have to focus in every set of users. like from an expert to the mid-range to the beginner level of. So if you make something, some sort of UI UX things that are fitting all sort of people, then you are good to go with your design. It's perfect for the users and ready for the developing. Apart from that, you also you have to some view on the user research where people they do to understand about the user. They take a lot of surveys and a lot of beta testing, alpha testing and stuff to start with. And for all these things, you don't need to pursue a course, or even you don't need to sit for this, dedicate and all. You just see some videos related to the particular thing. If you're learning about typography, there are a lot of videos available in YouTube. You just go get some binge watching about the typography. You're good to go. You're ready for this particular domain.
Coming to these videos, like let's talk about these. Did you follow any content creator or anyone who teaches on YouTube?
So yeah, in my case, I started with a Swiggy UI UX designer here called Saptarishi. So he was shortly called as Sapta, and he was kind of famous with South India. So he was working as a head of UI UX in Swiggy, and he actually dedicate a lot of time in teaching rather than the paid courses and stuff. So he takes a lot of workshops and stuff. I don't suggest attending them, but he himself made a YouTube channel. So just go through them. He provided a lot of content in that. That's a good kickstart to start with the UI UX thing.
Okay, so let's come to certificates. Do you think there is any significance of these certificates that Udemy, Coursera, or any other courses offer? Do you think it actually impacts our resume or our LinkedIn? Or is it not really necessary if you're starting out in UI UX? What is it?
So this is not something like a basic or generic programming thing. It's all about your creativity, how you make some projects, how you implement your ideas, how you visualize things. So doing a certificate, just clearing some quizzes and things doesn't evaluate as a UI UX designer. So rather than that, I suggest make some good portfolios and make your portfolio rich with projects, and do a lot of user research and stuff. So basically about the user research, you have to do a complete report about a particular app. As I mentioned in the previous thing, the Be Real application stuff. So for my project, I'm doing a complete user research. So it consists of the survey that you took, the how you see in a user perspective, how you develop, what are the things that actually adds up to a particular app and makes it to a functional thing. So these kind of projects, these kind of documentation and prototyping, wireframing are pretty much important rather than doing some certification and stuff. And in case of user interface and user experience role, there are not much certified companies that do these certification, because doing the certification is pointless coming to a artistic role rather than a program and coding thing. So there are some things like design school and stuff, but that doesn't really matter, and even companies don't take that. Instead of that, they give some problem statement, case study oriented things, where if you are able to complete that and convince them, then it's good to go with that rather than doing a certificate. So my suggestion is make some good projects, do some good user research, and make your portfolio kind of convincing to the recruiter, and have a lot of designs and prototypes. That's good to go there.
Let's talk about portfolio and resume. What should I have on my portfolio that would actually look bold and that could actually help me in, let's say, anything like freelancing or doing some project for any other big company? I need a good resume. What should I work on? What kind of project should I actually create?
So coming to the projects, in VIT we have the FFCS thing and the new curriculum, which inculcate you to make a lot of projects for each courses. So there are a lot of courses that need good front end and all those things, right? But all these things, do some good projects, make something, be creative, and have a lot of UI designs particular to this role, and try to develop maybe with the basic React or Next.js application, and make it a front-end application, make it into a complete creative-oriented thing, and that you can add up. And the next thing is about search for some startup internships, do some add-on to your add-on to their websites, applications, and chatbots. And apart from that, do some really good documentation, user research, learn about the users, about their perspective, their view on the application that are currently in the market. Do some redesigning stuff. Think something out of the box. And make some good prototype and wireframe, because wireframing is the base, the key thing of UI UX. Even the ChatGPT and other stuff going on with the current situation. If you are good in wireframing and stuff, you can use the current technology and make it better and make yourself good in the UI.
Let's say I'm learning UI UX. So should I start making these projects and these small projects like from the get go, or should I actually first learn the skill at a certain point till a certain point, and then I should go for these projects and start building my resume, or should I focus it from the get go, from the start?
So what I suggest, do both the things parallelly. Don't stop that. Learn, then project. I totally hate that thing. While you're learning, just implement them. Just don't stop just by memorizing and thing, because this is not the field like you just learn and implement. It's kind of learn and implement at the same time. Like it's similar to push and pull at the same time. So that's how you have to go with this particular domain.
Okay, so are there any prerequisites before entering UI UX? Should I actually learn any other skill, or should I just start UI UX today itself?
So what I suggest, do from today itself. If you are not much into coding, but you are good to do something artistic, creative things, go with this UI UX. And there'll be some set of people who love low code, no code things. They don't love to code, but they love to drag and drop, make something creative just by dragging drop. So those kind of people should take this particular domain, I would say, because this is actually good for them, and they can implement their ideas and thing by just designing the user interface and doing the thing.
Okay, so let's talk about UI UX a bit more. So UI UX, let's say I'm starting off, I've learned the skill, I've made projects. How would UI UX, these specific UI UX based project actually help me in my placement? Should I focus more on UI UX if that helps me in my placement, or should I focus on other skills as well that are necessary for placements like DSA and these aptitude tests? So how does UI UX affect my placement, or should I just take it as a normal small skill, just be done with it and move on to the next skill?
So yeah, coming to the placement, currently I'm in third year and I have the 5-year integrated course and stuff.
Okay.
So mentioning that, placement is a crucial part of your college life, where it decides the future, right?
Right.
So for that particular thing, you shouldn't rely only on UI UX, because it's more like the front end only. It's not completely the back end, the logics, the problem solving abilities and stuff.
Right.
But adding to that, I would say that doing UI UX will ruin your placement and stuff. That is no.
Okay.
Because there are certain companies, they ask for UI UX designers. They do come for front end developers and stuff.
Right.
But for taking them into the company, they have some sort of evaluation that requires aptitude, the coding ability like DSA and stuff. Also the basics of computer engineering like networks, operating system.
Okay.
So I would say that two things parallelly. Do your DSA, don't forget about your DSA, then about C or C++. Catch anything that, makes yourself better. Do it as a course, because you already be familiar with the DSA in your curriculum. And then all your basics are taught in your curriculum itself. So just tool it up and make something, to the polish level. Make them clear about those kind of topics.
Okay.
Then do your projects, focus on UI UX basically. Some people, they're not that good in math and they don't like machine learning or AI and stuff. They know how to use those technology, but not to build technology, right?
Okay.
So those kind of people can, polish their resume with this UI UX and make something, things better. How to visualize, all this thing can be done with UI UX, and that will, help your resume rather than just only focusing on UI UX is not preferable.
Okay.
Take it as a side side thing that adds value to your resume is just by building things that make better.
So it's more like I try on UI UX. If I think that it's interesting and if I can actually do good projects in it, I should move ahead with it, get deep into UI UX, and maybe make a career out of it. If not, let's say it seems like mediocre to me, I'll create some projects that would eventually add to my resume, and then that's it. I'll be done with UIUX.
Yeah.
That works.
So yeah, it's kind of okay, but the thing is, make yourself in a way that you also fit for placements.
Right.
Because if you know only UI UX, you can't fit for placements because they have DSA, aptitude, problem solving, everything. So you have to manage that part, and then you should have some skills on UI UX so that whenever a company comes for a front end developer or something like that, you can choose it as a role and go ahead with that. Because nowadays, people who are that much good in problem solving, they're not much good in creative front end thing.
Right.
So some companies, they look for creative engineers and they could design front end and stuff. So for them, this is a good start to go with.
Thank you for watching this, guys, and thank you, Sang, for giving your time. Let us know if you want us to explore any other domain. Leave out your thoughts below, and our social handles are there in the description box. If you have any other doubt related to UI UX, you can contact Sam. And if you want us to explore any other thing, you can contact me as well. So thank you for giving your time. Thank you, Sam. And yeah, that's it from our side.